p.m. You know what that means, comic book family. It's New Comic Book Wednesday, and it's a new episode of Not Near Mint. Tonight we got a good episode for you. We are talking about comic book nostalgia today. So, live from Miami. Yep, that's me. I should turn the sound off. That seems to happen every episode. We're getting a little better, but considering that today is our 22nd episode here, we're getting a bit more streamlined. We have Miracleman that is out this week. He will be returning next week. So in the meantime, we have joining us, as always, Lady Fantastic. How are you doing this evening, Lady Fantastic?
Man, I was just writing greetings to people. I'm doing well. I'm living, and I'm thankful to be alive. So that's all I can say about that, brothers and sisters.
Well, we're alive.
Cousins and misters.
What?
I was just trying to be like a Dr. Seussy.
Well, rule number one is don't die, because if we wind up doing that, we can't effectuate change. And we can't get those books that we get every single week.
I mean, we will effectuate change just by the simple fact that our matter will be redistributed, but there won't be an intent behind it.
And as long as we're not on Earth anymore, everybody winds up saying, hey, they were such good, nice people. They were great people. It's like, yeah, you know that he's Rob Worst, right? Do you remember what he did? Nobody ever says that in death. In death, you turn into a saint. So rule number one, don't die. But if you do, everything will wind up turning out okay in the end anyway.
You're not going to care, yeah. It'll be
doesn't matter, hardly. So I know you didn't wind up getting new comic books this week, and we don't have Miracleman with us, and we will wind up inviting people into the chat room later. I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the chat room now. So if anybody wants to join us after Lady Fantastic and I show some books off, feel free to join us. I just dropped that link in the chat. Replay viewers, this is why it pays to watch us live. Otherwise, let's start with you so far today. Again, first, welcome to New Comic Book Wednesday. Welcome to Not Near Mint. This is a show about comic books, and we are now on episode 22, which means that we've been doing this for 22 weeks straight now, somehow. It's New Comic Book Wednesday today. I got new books. Lady Fantastic did not, but she does have some books to show, don't you?
I didn't get new books, but I got new books, if that makes sense.
So what books did you get?
So I didn't get any new books today from the local comic shop, but I did get a very nice AOK in the mail from Tacoma Comics. And Tacoma and I share a passion for the X-Men. And I'd like to show you what he got me that I got in my package today. So I got the Uncanny X-Men 450, which I was quite pleased about. I got 469. It's just beautiful. I love me a good Sentinel. Nothing like a good Sentinel. And 470. Just really great books. I'm very thankful. I'm just like, you didn't have to do that. And, the little things mean a lot. And last but not least, he sent me the very first Barb Wire. So I was really pumped about that. So just great stuff, Tacoma. I really want to thank you for that. And then I did get, and then I got another AOK. I'll show that thing. But I got another AOK from Steve and Spock, which makes me feel like loved and stuff. So I'll show you the stuff that he gave me in his AOK. So this is, I think, Immortal Hulk 21, and this is the Abomination, clearly. Virgin, unknown variant, but it's a Virgin. This is also an unknown variant Virgin, but it is Marvel Legacy #1. Just gorgeous X-Men spread right there. Woo, baby. Just like my cup of tea. And then, oh my God, I'm going to poop myself. You guys, this freaking thing is in beautiful shape. He gave me a Hulk 182.
That is so nice of him.
Hulk 182, and it's got the Gollum Marvel value stamp inside it. Oh my gosh, it was just the nicest thing. And that's not all. Wait, hold on, there's more. Gave me Avengers 94. Oh, behold the mandroids. I hate it when the mandroids are after me. It's the worst.
Androids.
And he gave me Avengers 88. So, man, Steven Spock, you're just like rocking my world with beautiful books. Can't thank you enough, man. Really, really thankful. And then these are some books that I picked up at the LCS, like on Friday of last week. So I found, I'll show it in this order. This one I like to call the I Have a Headache cover, and it is Wolverine number 60. And it just seems like that dude would have a headache. I mean, I think he would. And then 332 of Thor. This is another Bill Sienkiewicz. I think he does either 331 and 332 or 332 and 333. But it's basically he's having to deal with Dracula and some BS, but drawn by BS. And speaking of BS art, I also I picked up these on the cheap. Yeah, so I found New Mutants 18. That's Moonbear, right?
And the first appearance of Warlock.
Yeah, all right, cool. And this is Demon Bear. This is 19. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Mark Knapp. Yeah, man, it was crazy. And then I found 21. Sounds like Slumber Party.
Oh, yeah. Love that Sienkiewicz artwork.
Yes. Okay, and then finally, Incredible Hulk, 449, first appearance of the Thunderbolts.
I picked that up a couple weeks ago. You picked that up this past week. We're twinsies again. It seems like we're getting a lot of the same books because we have some similar tastes.
I know. Good taste. I just want to show this last one, and then we can go to some nostalgia. I'll go back.
Right ahead.
All right. So we were talking about Squirrel Girl, Rob and I, before the show, and I actually have a couple of volumes. There were 2 volumes, and apparently the first volume only has 8 issues. I have 6 of the 8, and I want to show you. Squirrel Girl number 1. Freaking love that little squirrel. Woo! This one is super cute. Number 2. I freaking love that squirrel on the head of Iron Man. Oh my God. Makes me so happy. Number 3. Just a nice campy cover with Squirrel Girl in space fighting some space gorillas. Because why wouldn't you be fighting space gorillas? And this is probably one of my favorite covers. This is number 4, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 4, where it's like a digital video game, but it's like Squirrel Girl versus Galactus, and it's all pixelated, like intended to be like, from the old 16-bit, 32-bit era. And then I have number 7. This is a wicked cover, frankly. Got a lot of characters coming in there. Radical. And number 8, you've got Thor in the mouth of a giant squirrel. And that's kind of trippy. But, what are you going to do? All right, Rob, it's all you, buddy.
Well, again, I want to thank everybody that has joined us in the chat room live with us tonight. I'm going to throw out some names. Welcome, Mark, Two Gun, Sharon, Hacks, Ricky, Grayman, Rena, Cade. My brother Joe Worst is in the chat right now. Stay Puff, Sean, thank you all for coming tonight. So tonight I have kind of a half and half. What's in the briefcase? But the briefcase was a little too small this week. So I already have everything lined up for y'all. So I know that Patrick Wall is always looking for that damn Batman Adventures 12. So just to let everybody know, there was a reprint that came out this week. That's why I'm going to put down here at the scroll at the bottom of the page. These are the new books that came out this week that are kind of the ones to look out for. It's the Dollar Batman Adventures 12. I didn't pick that up because I already have the actual issue. An Incredible Hulk 180 facsimile edition came out today. Not as many people probably picked that up as they would have the 181, so it's probably one to grab and hold on to. And just as well, it's probably a good idea to pick up Venom issue number 1 of The End, because Batman The End, or not Batman, rather The End, the Venom The End issue number 1 is something that, well, you'll see in a moment. So before any ado, I'm just going to pass through everything here. Yes, Ricky Ricardo, new dress code for Rob. Hey, Perry Comics, welcome to the chat room today. I didn't get the Batman number 1, the Batman Adventures number 12 either. We already have it. So let's go with what the hell is in the briefcase. So I'm going to jump into my screen, and we're also going to be having that old comic smell joining us here in a little while. Just wanted to say hi. I'm going to show some books, and now let's see what you picked up today, all right? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay.
So, did you pick up some books this week?
My local LCS is 45 minutes away.
Ooh.
So I got a pull box. Whenever I get down there, I get it. I told him to pull me the Hulk 180 reprint and that first Batgirl reprint, plus
That's
whatever came in on my pull list.
It's like if we can't afford the initial offerings back when they first came out, a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford it. So 10 years from now, people are probably going to look to those. Kind of like how those silver border reprints that came out about 2 decades ago. Now people are paying $20 and up for those. So you never know. So real quick, I'm going to jump into what I picked up, and then we'll jump on over to your screen. That okay, new or old comic smell?
Works for me.
All right. So what's in the briefcase with Rob Wurst? So I'm going to get rid of all these scrolls that are on the damn screen so you have a nice, clean screen to look at. So we're going to move that on over to this. These are the books that came out this week. You might wonder why I have a Fantastic Four Giant Size number 4 next to the books. You might already know why the Batman Adventures 12 is here. But for the Giant Size Fantastic Four, that's the first appearance of Jamie Madrox. Now, in Venom The End, issue number 1 that came out today, Jimmy Madrox figures in greatly to the future of Venom. I won't get into the how, but many, 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 many years in the future, there is no human, no any kind of biological life left. And Venom can tap into all those codexes of anybody and everybody he has ever consumed. So he uses Jimmy Madrox. Oh boy, does he. So I'm looking for this to start popping very soon. Meanwhile, the first issue of, well, it's the one-shot, Venom The End number 1. Came out this week. It's the only book I read so far. Avengers 29, the variant edition. This continues on with the Star Brand storyline. Cosmic Ghost Rider, The Revenge of, issue number 2, variant edition. I'm probably only going to pick up the first issue of Iron Man 2020 because I haven't really dug most of the Dan Slott run up till now, and I'll probably even be selling it soon enough. Need to clear up some room. Looking forward to reading this. It is The Ruins of Ravencroft. This is a Spider-Man title that spun out from the Carnage storyline that just finished up. So looking forward to reading this. This is the variant cover with Sabretooth. We have more what is that? The J Crew, the J Team, the J Superheroes, whatever it is, it's the continuation of that storyline. And we have Jane Foster, Valkyrie #7, the variant edition from Marvel's X. We have some more continuation of Ellis and Hitch, the people that worked on The Authority, so that's enough for me to get all 12 issues and then blaze through it in a weekend. The 86th issue of the Flash variant edition. It's another issue I'll probably not read for about another year. He-Man #3 from DC. Looking forward to reading that once all 6 are out. We have the variant of Teen Titans #38 that dropped this week. Also, Buffy the Vampire Slayer #11, the Kendra variant. And Spawn #304, the black and white edition. And last for the new books, Undiscovered Country #3. Now, I was on JP's Budget Collects earlier last weekend, and I just kept showing book after book after book after book. And he's like, Rob, can't you slow down? Isn't that enough? Are you done? Really? You're not done yet. How many more stacks can you pull out? Like a lot, like really a lot. So this was a hot book a few weeks back, and I picked it up quite a bit cheaper. This was found at Phil's comic book shop in Broward County. Take the Time Collectibles. He is Brian over at Phil's Comics. He's a good guy. He's real tall. If you walk in the shop and you're not sure who he is, just look up and that will be him. He's awesome. He'll hook you up. Bring cash. This is the first appearance of Bobby Morse. I read through the issue. I couldn't figure out who she was. I know that sounds so bad. The first appearance of Howard Stark in Iron Man #28. Okay, so I'm going to jump back up onto my screen real quick. This is Invincible Iron Man issue 169. Now, funny thing that happened today. So on Twitter, I was kind of bored and I was waiting for my comic book shop to open, which is John Fresh. If you've never been to the shop before, it's called Frank's Comics. It's in Miami. So I'm waiting for the shop to open. And I had a picture in my cell phone. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to post to Instagram and Twitter. About 20 minutes after I post, I had Nick from Key Collector Comic App going, yeah, buddy, I'm sorry, but this is not the first appearance of Jim Rhodey Rhodes as Iron Man. That's 170. But in this issue, in the very last page, Rhodey is wearing the whole suit without the helmet. So technically, he is, he's, by all intents and purposes, he's Iron Man. So I was responding with this. I'm very respectful, and so is he. And the funny thing is that it really is his first appearance, issue 169. We debated about that, but it's really more or less going to be a Incredible Hulk 180 versus 180. What's the cameo? What's the first appearance? It's a minor key, but it was kind of an interesting thing that blew up today. So this book I picked up from, I believe this one was from Fresh's Comics. So I thank him for that. Thank you, John Freshley. I'll go back over to the other camera now so you can see the rest. Moving on, we have, and I'll start throwing some, wow, there's a lot of comments here, and I'm not going to be able to get anywhere near to all of them, so I'll get to it soon enough. This is the origin of MODOK. I picked up from Phil's Comics. This is the, I can't remember what this one is. Oh, this is the first Jack Monroe. This is first Jack Monroe as the Nomad with his origin. And this is when, I guess, John Walker takes over as Captain America. These are real bad. I love this. I can't wait to get all the rest of these keys because I'm a big Captain America fan. You might notice I'm not grabbing all the Spider-Mans. It's not. I
want to get all the Mike Zeck ones.
Oh yeah, I would love all the Zeck covers. I only have about
fucking amazing.
Oh yeah. Now this I was kind of just. Brian let me know that Phil's Comics was having a whole big Silver Bronze Age collection come in. He let me know over the weekend, and I'm like, I will come there as soon as I can. So it took until Tuesday. I ran in there, and what did he have? But it helped me finish out most of my run of Marvel premieres. So I got from the beginning of when Doctor Strange starts the book, and this is a very classic storyline. I have not read it yet. I'm looking forward to it, but you'll notice I'm missing a few issues. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it skips over to 10. First appearance and death of Shuma Gorath, that some people were thinking that perhaps that he might have been in that new Multiverse of Madness from the Doctor Strange movie. Unfortunately, Scott Derrington, the director, was fired, so we don't know who's going to be in it, what's going to be in it, what it's going to be about. We have no idea. So I got it. It was pretty cheap. Thank you, Brian at Phil's Comics. Issue 11, 12, 13, and 14. We know the issue that comes after that. I picked that up last year. That would be the first appearance of Iron Fist. And that, of course, was not in the comics.
Oh, I don't have the chance. I don't have the opportunity to do it. Hey, Rob, give Zeke Alex a wrench. I was trying to give it to him, but I don't think I have the authority.
I don't know how to do that. I will have to do that after the broadcast.
Okay. I think you... I don't know. I'm not sure. They'll tell us how, right? Live chat, participants.
Yeah, let us know in the chat, and we'll throw you a wrench. All right, so just to finish out everything here, a Doctor Strange number 1 through 5 that I picked up. So I have a lot of Doctor Strange material, given the fact that we are probably not going to see a Doctor Strange film for the very near future. And we have, who was just asking? Patrick Wall was asking, why was he fired? They said it was a mutual disagreement, but that's just a nice way for a director going, I still want to get hired again, so I'm not going to talk shit about the company that fired me. So I picked this up for $6. This was the cameo first appearance in color of Hellboy. And it was something that Comic Tom was talking about a few weeks back. So that jumped to $20 and it dropped back down real fast, didn't it?
It's not even like it's an appearance of a poster with Hellboy on it.
Yeah, and I looked through the issue 3 times. I could not find it at all. Maybe I'm just blind. I know I'm colorblind, but
yeah, that's probably why though, because it's in like a light pink.
Perfect. Yeah, of course that would be the right?
That's why you couldn't find it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm an asshole.
When I'm seeing here, Life with 2 YouTubers feels crushed because she doesn't have a wrench.
I don't know how to give you a wrench. If I were smart enough to allocate one, I surely would.
We all would. So after this episode, by the time we roll around next week, some things are going to change around here because I will have another camera, so you'll see this full room as I'm talking through most of the episode.
Like some Matrix shit.
A little bit. And hopefully Lady Fantastic will have some things worked out for the next episode where we are going to look pretty awesome next episode.
Ballin'.
Ricky's looking for a Cloak and Dagger number 1. So just to let him know, over at John Freshley's Frank's Comics in Miami, he has full collections. Because this isn't just the first issue. I wound up getting the full run. 2, 3, and 4. And he had a couple other books that were in there that started jumping up this past week because Comic Tom 101 let us know, yeah, Magic was in issue 14 where she joins the team, but that's not when she was originally Magic. That starts here in this series. So I picked up the full run for under $10. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh, poor Mike. Hey, poor Mike.
And those are all the books I wound up picking up so far this week. And I probably should not be saying so far because, oh my God, I spent a lot of money.
Poor Mike and I did a trade. He was looking for that, the symbiote, the old school, the symbiote island or planet of the symbiotes. poor Mike was trying to find the set, and I had one, and I had a couple, and I traded him a couple, and he sent me some Silver Surfers. That's
Wait, what Silver Surfers did you get?
the ones that I got from him.
Yeah.
Well, it was volume 3, and I think they were issues like either 92 through 94, or like it was in the 90s. It was a store like a 3 or 4 part in the 90s. That's all I remember. It's true. Land of the Symbiotes. See,
chain symbiotes. Yeah, we're gonna have to get some people some wrenches here and soon.
I don't know how to give the wrench. I don't know if I have the authority to give the wrench. You might be the only wrench giver.
Yeah, you'd think that if I'm letting you in the damn broadcast, that you should be able to have abilities to give people wrenches.
Because what you should be able to do, is you should go to the, you should be able to go to the chat, and you see everybody has a little sidebar. I thought there you could like allocate a wrench, but I don't know.
And I'm seeing settings here. I'm just looking at StreamYard's version. I think I probably have to do it through YouTube. And since I'm looking at this through StreamYard and I'm doing an active broadcast, for me to go, give me like 2 minutes to be silent and do dead air as I go. Yeah, that's why people tune in, right? And just a reminder, anybody that wants to go ahead and join us in the chat room, I will throw that link up here. And I keep thinking that's up, but I never created a banner. So it's in the chat. I just put that in there now. I'm also going to create a banner so that people will know what to type in if they feel like joining us. So here is that banner if you want to go ahead and join. Otherwise, the link is in the chat currently. And one more thing that I wanted to show off. This was something that, as many people know, Comic Gories was a show that I pretty much jumped onto within the first couple of weeks of doing these Not Near Mint episodes. So Matt, some of you may know him as
the boy who had 7.
Boy who had 7. Yeah, I actually know his name.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Why is he called the boy who has 7?
He was born with 7 toes on each foot.
That would be interesting.
It's the most practical explanation.
No, if you could have a couple of them be prehensile so you could go and grab stuff, because I could use an extra hand.
Yeah. The 7 goiters. Boy who had 7 goiters. I don't know.
Oh, geez. Well, we haven't seen that yet, but he has kept his shirt on the entire time.
No, I know he has kids. I know how.
Yes, we know he has kids. We're just dealing with people.
That's just being a little knob.
I'm seeing here that Sharon, Life with 2 YouTubers, just let us know that, where is it here? I just saw it. Comic Gories is back next Friday. So people, take note, put that in your calendar. Comic Gories goes back next Friday. It's too bad that Matt's not in the chat because I'm throwing his name out there. And yes, he does have 7 kids. 7 kids, bro. Wow.
7 testicles.
Mm-hmm.
Mark the Cuddy shark, or Mark the Cuddy's arc.
Ah, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I did. Okay, when I'm seeing this in StreamYard, it doesn't pop. It doesn't populate in the side as soon as you type. It takes about like 10 to 30 seconds. So that kind of gives you your idea for lag time. So I'm going to show this. This is what he sent it in. And Matt is such a good, nice, kind person. He sent this. So Rob, thank you for being a great friend. Congrats on Comic Gory's win. This is your prize from Matt. So thank you again, Matt. This is what he sent. It is in this. Let's see, are there any tabs? Because I know, oh, holy crap. He put tabs. This is something that JP over at Discovery Bay is always talking about, just to make things easier, because now I don't need that X-Acto knife. Remember back when I first started this show and I'm going, hey, look what I got. I got a first appearance of Ghost Rider and it came in something like this. I mean, no kidding. It came in something just like that. No box, no nothing. So Matt knows what he's doing. If you plan on buying books from him, go ahead and feel comfortable about that because he knows how to do it correctly. So, opening everything up gently and on camera so you see everything. And I'm pretty sure something's going to be taped up here pretty well to make it not as easy. Oh, he even included tabs on the interior. How about that?
That's a thoughtful man.
So, something behind me that I don't know if everyone can see very well is a comic of Detective Comics, and this is a throwback directly to it. Now, I'm going to switch the camera up so that you can see what this is. It's not Undiscovered Country. It is Joker #1, the Year of the Villain, Jock Virgin variant from the UK.
Wow.
Oh, my God, that is amazing. Thank you, Mike. I am the best hype talker, though. But am I? Or am I just putting on a show? Oh, wait a second. Am I putting on a show? Yes, it's Not Near Mint, starring Lady Fantastic, Miracleman, and I, Rob Worst. So again, I'm going to throw this out there in the chat. If anybody wants to go ahead and join, please do. You are free. You are more than welcome. And we're going to get on to the next portion of our show. So the next portion of our show was what we were talking about at the very beginning. Not Near Mint, episode 22, Comic Book Nostalgia in the year of 2020. So we already asked, what comics did you get? We asked you what's in the briefcase. So my next question is, and we're just going to interview one another. What was the first comic book you were given or that was bought for you?
The first comic book I was given, or
given to you as a gift, bought to you by a parent or an uncle or aunt, just the first thing that you were going, wow, this is my very first comic book I'm holding.
So it was probably, I want to say it was an X-Men 281.
That is a pretty good issue to get.
The new team. Yeah.
I correlated issue 281 as being, if you started watching the X-Men animated TV show, you're like, okay, there's a comic book of this, and the day that you go to the comic store, what's the issue that's there?
Yeah.
That great cover with the blue and yellow uniforms. Wow, that takes me back.
That's probably one of my firsts, I would say. And then I got a lot of the issues around that. But here's another thing that I was also into that brings me, there's two levels of nostalgia. There's like early kid nostalgia, which I'm going to show you first. And then I have I've grown up a little. I've read some comics. I know what I want. And that's that second round. But the first round is X-Men Adventures. So Batman Adventures clearly has a very, very valuable book. X-Men Adventures doesn't. But I watched the show. This was the natural gateway drug into the genuine article. Okay? This was a gateway drug.
Oh yeah.
And so I have X-Men Adventures #1. #2, Death of an X-Man. I think that's Morph or something. #3, Newsstand 2. Eat that up. Then we jump to, 10. And this only ran to 15. 11. I think 14. Thought I had number 12. Apparently don't have 14. Right. And this is the final issue, and final issues make me excited. 15. Newsstand. Oh, baby, don't you love it? So, and if you want to go and show some, you can go ahead, and then I'll show you the big boys, like the serious transition, or I can show it now. I don't care.
All right, so I'll show a couple here. So I don't have that many to show you right now because whenever I'm about to get home and do work, and then on top of everything, try and put together a show, I'm hoping that some other people do some heavy lifting. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody really joining the show at the moment, which is okay. It might even be a very early night tonight. That would be rare. We usually go like 2-3 hours. So, yeah, I know. Scary, right? This ugly mug in a suit. It's like, where's the comic book shirt, right? Hey, so, when I was a kid and my grandmother, love her to death, she died right before the new year of 2000, so she never got to live long enough to go, oh my God, the computers are going to kill us all. So she was very much about being wholesome and good and kind and no profanity and no violence. So it got a little weird when my grandmother said, well, we're at Walgreens and there's comic books over there. Do you want one? So she got me one. And then not knowing that I already had it, when she went back again a second time, she got me another one. So I never sold them. They're in okayish condition, maybe an 8 or so, I don't know. But she wound up getting 2 copies of Venom for me as a child, thinking that somehow, as long as it's on a cover of a book, they can't possibly be violent or criminal or profane. Oops, sorry, Grandma. And look at what you spawned. Look at everything back here. This is what you did to me, Grandma. Thank you. But what really throws me back when I said, okay, so Superman's dead, and I'm no longer caring as much. Now there's all these new characters, so maybe he might be back, maybe he won't. This is the early days of me reading comic books in the 90s. So as soon as this kind of rolled around back in 1997, this is when I said to myself, you know what? I'm done reading comic books for at least a little while. I'm going to stick to Sandman and Transmetropolitan and those kind of books. So this really throws me back with Superman issue 123 when he goes electric blue. This is the issue right here that made me go, you know what? I'm good. Because when JP was telling me on that show, hey, Rob, you're bringing out a lot of books there. How many more before you can go, I'm good now. I don't need any more. Well, back in 1997, right before little Rob goes off to college, this was that book. This is my nostalgia going, well, I'm going to go party, get laid, and do drugs and drink. And then for the next 20 years, a lot of a blur. And then I kept reading books every single Wednesday. I did not take a single break for all those years. No matter what, every Wednesday, I always picked up something. And it would always be I started Amazing Spider-Man back again when J. Michael Straczynski started writing it with issue 30. But for a long period of time, there was no Amazing Spider-Man I was reading, no Batman I was reading, nothing with capes. Capes just meant, oh, that's for kids. And then the Authority happened. Authority changed everything. The whole game changed. That's when writers realized, oh, we got to step up our game. This is a lot more true to life. I mean, after 9/11, when terrorists flew some planes into some buildings, we need to kind of make things resonant. We need to make things in a way where 10 years from now, 20, 50 years from now, people read it and go, this is relevant. Instead of picking up something from maybe the 1960s and go, wow, Superman is a dick. Hey, look,
this is relevant.
It's
not.
Really. So it looks like that old comic Smell is trying to join back again. I think he's trying to fix his camera. So again, we're thanking the people that are still in the chat room with us. We have 15 people viewing live with us now. So we're having Random Wolf asking, who else is a nerd that liked the Spider-Man 1990s animated TV series? There was an X-Men crossover episodes, and I kind of don't remember the crossover episodes very much, but the Spider-Man animated.
I stuck purely to the X-Men.
What was that?
I said I was an elitist. I stuck purely to the X-Men.
I could see that. I mean, even going back today, X-Men, with the exception of that one season that was done in Korea and all the characters.
No, that's not real.
Yeah, we're going to pretend that didn't happen. Kind of like every season of Dexter, season 4.
All right. I now have this pile of books, and it's nostalgia based on the lore contained within them.
Ooh.
I know.
Let's see.
NFL Super Pro.
Yeah. And that's nostalgia, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah. So these are 11 books from some of the most solid writing in X-Men. All right. So we're going to start off with 131. It's the first appearance of Emma Frost, the White Queen. And then we're going to transition to 132, where you become acquainted with the Hellfire Club. Sebastian Shaw is at the head of this club, and he's a tricky dick. So he ends up well, and then 133. Here's a nice cover where we've got Wolverine lashing out. Essentially, in 134, and 133, Jean Grey becomes convinced through, psychic-ish stuff by Sebastian Shaw that she lives in the 1800s and she's married to Sebastian Shaw. And he basically uses her as a weapon against the X-Men, and this is a Dark Phoenix that comes unleashed, all right? Then we've got this nice Dark Phoenix. She's just lost her damn shit. She's crushing the X-Men sign. She's so pissed. She ran out of her sugar high. Scott's holding her. Classic Pieta, but he's not on his knees. So this is a 136. Then we go 137. What an epic staple cover. Am I right? And look at that beautiful, beautiful stamp. I love the date stamps. So, let me go to 138. And this is the little... There have been a ton of comic covers dedicated to this. I've never been a fan of Cyclops. I think he's a little bitch.
He's a punk-ass bitch.
He is. He's a whiny bitch. I don't like him.
You feel. He's a punk-ass bitch.
Yeah, so there's that. 139, you're getting... 129 is the first appearance of Kitty Pryde. 130 is the first appearance of Dazzler. 131 is the first appearance of Emma Frost. You're getting a lot of ladies, all right? So this is just a continuation where I think Kitty's like, all right, I'm going to join the team now. I'll be one of you. Where before she was just kind of a aloof little teenager learning what her powers were, okay? Cool. And then we've got Wendigo, Donkey Kongin, because he can. I mean, who's going to stop that other than Wolverine?
Oh, shit, dude.
Uh-oh. I hope you didn't spill your Coke on yourself.
Nah, just comic books.
Days
Probably doesn't sound good.
of Future Past. Bolivar Trask, you jerk. So this is a great story. This is where they have to go into the future because this new sentinel that Bolivar Trask has created has basically slain all the mutants. And so they have to go get that technology, and then I don't know if they go back in the past. It's I haven't read this in a minute, but anyways, in this issue, everybody dies, or they have to go back. So it's they have to go back into the past, deal with Trask. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, I love these two books. Boom. That's what I got. That is my nostalgia. That's my extra nostalgia.
And it looks like we have that old comic smell. I don't know if he's there or if he's still setting up. So checking
I'm here.
in. Hey, that old comic. Oh, there you are. Do you have any books that you want to show?
I'm currently driving. I gotta go pick my daughter up from work, so I was just sitting in. And I don't. Or my LCS is so far away. I don't really have any way to get any books except every blue moon. I currently have about 60 books in my pull box, so
Ooh, that's going to be
here for the chat part of it.
I'm a fan of the X-Men. Yeah, I really like them quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to start showing some books in a second here. So before I show books, this is Jaka. This is my cat that just went, I can't be deprived of you another moment. So I just have to say hi to my kitty. Hi. Good to see you. Hi.
Oh, Ricardo, you said you liked Iceman, and so recently, you want to talk about the Omega level mutants, and apparently he is Omega level simply because he has the ability to manipulate water molecules. And if you really think about that, there's a lot of potential if you can really get old Dalai Lama in focus and start crystallizing shit in the atmosphere. You could do some damage. It's cool. Anyways, I'm not feeling so great, Rob. I'm kicked out.
We don't need a long episode tonight. That's fine. So I'm going to show some books real quick, and I guess we'll wrap up. All good?
Yeah, I just thanks everybody. I just not felt so great, and I don't want to be a butthole, but just meow meow meow. Please forgive me.
Yeah, we all understand. It's the middle of the week. It's right after the new year. We're going, where's our vacation again? It's like we never had one. So go ahead. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Oh, and the cat jumps back up on my lap again because this is just so normal for me.
This is all I got to say. Oh, there's my cat.
Hey, Miss Kitty, good to see you.
She got tweet.
All YouTubers, we all have cats. I don't know.
Oh, did you see her put her head back down?
Oh.
My snuggles.
And thank you, Rob Random Wolf. And this is another thing that I wanted to throw out there that, we have a person that was one of our very, very first, if it wasn't for Rena Brown, and yes, Rena Brown is an author. She is the very first guest that we had on the show. It was because of Rena Brown, along with with two YouTubers, that got us to have Miracleman and Lady Fantastic all come together to do this show that we call Not Mere Myths. Now, Rena Brown finally has pre-sales available for the new book that she authored. It's called Isle of the Dark, and you can go and pre-order. It's $20 at http://isleofthedark.com. So that's breaking news. It is available for pre-order. Go ahead, pick that up. I'm going to be doing that hopefully by this weekend once I get paid again, because I guess you kind of saw I picked up a lot of books. So I'm going to show these real quick, and then we're going to close out the show tonight. Sorry, we're going to be going a little bit light tonight, which I'm okay with. Sometimes we go a little too long, in my opinion. So,
I'm going to do that if you guys want to talk. Are you two going to talk after I leave, or are you just going to do a leave?
Well, it's up to you. I know that Old Comic Smell is still driving, and we can always pick back up next week.
Well, I'm currently waiting on her. It'll be a few minutes before she gets done, probably about 10 or 15 minutes.
All right. Well, how about I hop off and you two talk about what's nostalgic, and you have to share some comic smell. That's the wrong way. Well, you have to share your nostalgic, like what. So I know you said you like Transformers and G.I. Joe. Is that something that kind of like brings you back?
Yeah, I was a kid of the 80s, and I started collecting about 83 or so. One of my brother's friends gave me some DC horror and war books, and that's why it got me hooked on them. And then probably about 5th grade or so, back in the day, you could roam around on your bikes pretty far from your house, so we'd go up to the corner store and hit the spin racks and buy books. And I remember buying Transformer and G.I. Joes, Fantastic Four, Black Suit Spider-Mans.
Black Suit Spider. Now, Rob, it's come back to me now, Rob. Like, I remember how I got my very first comic books.
Because good.
X-Men. My very first comic books, it's when I had to stay at my grandma's. And the neighbor, like 2 houses down, there was a teenager there that was selling all his old Avenger books for like $0.25 each. And and they were all in the like 240s through like 280s. So it was, intergalactic. Well, it always is. So I remember getting some of those and being like, wow, like just reading the story and stuff. And then you have the advent of that show, the X-Men. And then that's when I started to get the 281. Sorry. Okay.
I think we all have most of those issues from about 275, at least until right around 300, until we went, oh, well, there's other things too. But for me, I'm going to jump to this other camera here, and you'll see where my comic collecting really just took hold.
All right. I'm going to bounce out, you guys.
Well, before we do that, just real quick, is there anything so far that you have to promote for this weekend, this week, your channel?
So I'm thinking about having an auction one day this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I have not decided which one. By tomorrow, I will have made a decision, and I will make an announcement. Other than that, I announced that I'm proud to be American because God gave that right to me.
Congratulations.
He didn't really. Actually, my mom and dad gave me that right by pooping me out on this land, but
same here.
Whatever you want to say. All right, I'm out, dude. You guys take care, okay?
I'm German. I'm just glad that I wasn't born there.
Yeah, I came actually. I'm German, but we came over in the late 1700s. We were just a bunch of poor farmers. Look at me now.
I'm still wondering how I wound up with the last name of Worst. Either it had something to do with meat, or somebody's a pariah in the family. USA, right?
I know. Okay.
All right.
I bet your last name used to be Verst, and they angelicized it into Worst.
It had to have been. So I'm going to show these real quick, and we'll promote whatever's going on with your channel, your YouTube, your Instagram, Twitter, what have you. So these are just the books that really started me out. So back in early 90s, after I finally started working at a place where it was, you could sell stuff on the telephone, and yet Caroline just said, oops, I guess she just clicked out of the chat a little too soon. That's fine. So back in the 90s, I was trying out for a volleyball team, and of course I couldn't make it because I sucked. I was a big fat kid, I was not very coordinated, and I just wanted to have friends because that would have validated my life, at least back then as a small child. So it was, for me, Batman the Animated Series. And I wound up picking up from the very first issue to the very last. I stayed on board throughout with the first issue, second. So you'll just see what all these covers will look like if you ever plan on picking them up. So for me, I'm not one of those people that had to pay very much money at all once issue 12 dropped, because to me, it was just the next issue that came out. If it's a modern book, I try not to pay too much money because I'd rather be picking up a Fantastic Four 52 that I could have possibly have picked up earlier this week from Whodat. Unfortunately, taxes is coming up. And taxes is just one of those things that is a bane of our existence, but we don't want to go to jail and we don't want to have our paychecks garnished. So when I was picking these up back in the 80s, a lot of them correlated directly to what was going on in the TV series. So I liked it. I did not notice one little bit until several years later that this Batman Adventures 12 was something that was going to blow up as big as it did. Who would have known that a Joker's hench girl would become as large as she is today? But I just kept picking it up. It didn't become like $100 or $500 book to me. It was just the next issue.
When did that series start?
It started, I think, if I'm not wrong, 1992. 1992 was when I started really spending money on comic books.
Yeah, I remember getting that number one, because that was during all the hype and boom, and you got a number one just because it was number one, but I never got any more beyond that.
Oh yeah, we were all, I think, when we were children, when we were teenagers, I think we were all kind of the type of person that would just get the next issue number one, whatever it is. We probably didn't care very much what it was, which is why we probably had copies of Deathlock 1, copies of, Static, Hardware. Well, Static was pretty good, but I can't really speak much for all these issue ones that were just crapping out one after the other. And I'm seeing here that Rena Wolf is thanking me. You're very welcome. I am so very proud of you at such a young age to put out content, reading material, and it seems like you are already on your way to writing your next book, or 3 or 5, a series, in fact.
Yeah, when I heard she did that, I was like most impressed because I've always had the book ambition, but I never got around to doing it. And not only did she do it, but she got published, so that's pretty awesome.
And that's something that if she is, and she does sound like she plans on doing this for some time. So all you people out there, and I'll throw that link back up there again for those of you that are still watching us. Anybody else that wants to join the broadcast, feel free to join. Otherwise, we'll be closing up soon. But do remember that Raina Brown announced that the Isle of the Dark pre-sale is live. You can go to isleofthedark.com. But pick that book up. $20, that's not that much. Let's just say if you already are paying the $20 a year for Key Collector app, which is a great app, I think you can afford $20 on a copy of a upcoming young writer that might wind up doing some things that if you had that very first book, first print, and you're going to be kicking yourself if time goes by and you didn't get that. And all of a sudden, it's like Harry Potter, Book 1, Print 1, Sorcerer's Stone, UK edition. You book people out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know how much that's worth. I'm not saying she might be, J.K. Rowling, but I'm not saying that she's not.
Going back to what you was talking about, that Batman Adventures 12. I think the first Amazing Spider-Man I picked up was number 300, just because it was number 300.
Oh.
Held on to it. sold it for like $30 when it was worth about $30. Wound up having to buy it back for about 50, and held on to it ever since.
That's one of those that I remember for the longest amount of time that if you wanted a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 300, you could have easily have gotten that for maybe $50 at much. $80 was asking a lot. The movie comes out and it turns out to be mediocre at best with the turd in the wind line. It jumped to about $375. It started crawling back down, and all of a sudden, hey, carnage and a movie and more carnage, and oh shit, things up to about $400 again. I had a 300. Back when I was a kid, my dad and I, we went to MegaCon, I think it was 1994, 1995, to sell my very first comic book, which I think I have somewhere around here. Oh yeah, it's right here. So dumb young Rob Wurst goes to sell his very first comic book at MegaCon. My dad is manning the table because I need to go take a piss. My dad is not paying attention to the comics as he goes, it's a bunch of nerds. It's not like they're criminals or anything. So my dad starts talking to Walter Simonson. He winds up purchasing a whole bunch of heavy metal books and signs a bunch of them for me. And later on, as the day goes by, I'm looking through some of my books and I realize, oh shit, somebody stole Gen 13, 1 through 5. Back then, that was a big deal. Today, dollar books. But one of those was Amazing Spider-Man 300. Had it. I even have a video from when I was 12 years old. And little fat Rob Wurst is going, look at these comics over here. Look at the comics over here. It's kind of like a shorter, fatter, higher voice version of what you're seeing right now.
Minus the facial hair.
Facial hair. Which I said I was probably going to wind up getting rid of that facial hair at the beginning of the year, but that didn't happen. Oh, and I'm seeing here that Comics on the Mind has joined the chat. Good to see you as always. And Tom's Comic Books and Reviews. Cool covers. Thank you very much. Poor Mike is still with us. Thank you. And let's see here. What's that smell? Oh, what's that old comic smell? Looks like we have some friends in the chat room here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hit you up for copyright violation because you put that old comic smell in your description for this video.
Oh, no. Is that bad? Should I take it away?
It's kind of funny because, this name is took off. It's getting a whole lot of people say, oh, I like that. And now they're starting to use it in their shows. I had like twice in 1 week, 2 different people used it in their show. So I thought it was kind of neat.
Wanting to get more guest appearances so we can throw out that name. Is there anything that you want to go ahead and promote?
I really need to start making videos, but I work so much it's just about impossible. Like I started today about 6:15 and got off about 8:15 tonight. So about a typical day for me half the time. I work 50 plus hours every week and then come home and try to spend time with the family and usually wind up watching too much YouTube.
And what
it's kind of hard.
What do you wind up doing for a living, if I might ask?
My title is fleet maintenance. I'm responsible for keeping up with the maintenance on about 50 vehicles for my company throughout the Southeast. But I'm also a backup delivery driver, which is what I've been doing the past 3 weeks. We're about an hour south of Atlanta, and I had to go today about 20 or 30 miles north of Asheville, which is 5 hours each way before Atlanta traffic. It wound up being about 6 hours each way.
Have you had to really deal with all that snow and black ice and all that awful weather?
Not yet. It rains pretty much every time I go up there in the mountains, but so far no cold weather. I'm from South Georgia. We don't know how to deal with that freezing rain and ice and snow.
It's very much like Florida. If it drops below 70 degrees, people break out their damn parkas.
Oh, yeah, you're right down there. You're around Miami, right?
I am in Miami. We're so far south that we just say that it's kind of like Game of Thrones around here. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. The problem is it never does. And like Game of Thrones, when winter does come, it's short and it's disappointing. So I do have some questions that were in here. So what was it like for you as a kid growing up when you were reading comic books? I mean, were you picked on? I know I sure as hell was. I remember when I was about maybe 12, 13 years old in middle school, and I bought issue number 1 through 3 at the time that was out, Aliens, the Dark Horse title. I remember getting the book, I was holding it, I was in the hallway, and the next thing I know, somebody punched me in the back of my head, and I'm no longer holding comic books. But that was fairly typical because that was early 90s.
I didn't really have too bad of experiences. When I was in elementary, 5th, 6th grade, a couple of my friends, we all collected and swapped and all that, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Then we moved to Columbus, Georgia, and me and my best friend, we both collected, so, it wasn't no big deal between us. And his other friends, they collected, so, it was something we could all talk about and relate to. Didn't know, it wasn't something I really advertised in high school, but, after I graduated, I started doing like little shows, so that worked out pretty good, making some side money.
Oh, so you were doing actual comic book shows. So you were selling as a dealer?
Yeah. I actually had an eBay business. It was booming for the longest time.
As in past tense. So you don't do eBay anymore?
There's a reason why they call it Feebay now. It got just ridiculously expensive.
Have it. To sell on there, people would be much better off just jumping over to Instagram. If only I would have discovered a long time ago that Instagram is just celebrities and food pictures.
By the way, I'm on a live chat.
And Air Spider says, 5th graders don't mess with you when you're 180 pounds. I can refute that because I'm pretty sure I was a little bit over that when I was in 5th grade. Definitely beat up for this.
I was in 5th grade. I was probably about 4 feet tall and weighed about 50 pounds soaking wet.
But we grow up, and change will always happen whether you want to or not. Personal growth, that is a choice. And I think if we're still reading comic books to this day, whatever age that we are, I'm at the age of 40, so I feel like I'm a geezer. But, I've died a few times, been shot several times, been struck by lightning once, died a few times. And it's mostly just getting empathy for other people to realize, A, you're not the only person on the planet, and B, that you get much more out of life when you deal with kindness instead of being an asshole. At least that's been my experience. I could be wrong. And Comics on the Mind, you're more than welcome to join the chat. Otherwise, the next couple minutes, we're probably going to wrap up the show here. We do want to talk about nostalgia. We do love these books that we pick up week in, week out. Sometimes we're getting a little too much. Sometimes maybe it's not enough. But this week did not feel like a very big week, a very important week, or anything that made us really want to get the next issue of much anything, especially when X-Men books were all cattywampus. They didn't wind up releasing issue number 5 this week. Issue 5, Fallen Angels, that was supposed to come out this week, came out last week. So shipping is arbitrary now. Yes, Ricky Ricardo says he can't believe that we are 40 years old now. But we got here because rule number 1 in life is don't die. Dylan's comic book rant says, Rob, you're the best. Old comic smell. What's up, everyone? So, is there anything else coming up on your channel or anything on your show or anything that you want to be doing, anything that you're looking forward to?
Well, I got some ideas. It's just a matter of getting around to doing it. And right now, I got some phone to do it on. My daughter's got a laptop. I just don't know what all she's got on it that would be helpful to help make something. But I really need some kind of editing program for what I got in mind. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to try to do everything in one take and hope it's for the best.
So are you using a Mac or a PC?
I'm using a cell phone right now. I'm saying all I got access to is a laptop.
If you're using a cell phone, there are programs that are on the phone that can help you edit. I can look some up, and hopefully next episode I can throw that up there so people can start using that. But there should be some free ones that'll just stitch together some of your videos if that's all you're looking for. But if it's dropping in music and second audio tracks, third audio tracks, animated titles, that you're probably going to want to try and figure out how to use After Effects. At least that's what I use when I'm doing that. But as you can see, I really have one edited video altogether, and that was my very first one. Because much like you, I don't know if I work 50 hours a week or every couple days. As a court reporter, when I'm sent to Key West and it's for a 9 a.m., I have to be awake at 3 a.m. It takes 3.5 hours to get there. If there's an accident to Key West, it's only one lane each way, most of the direction. One accident, Florida Department of Transportation puts it at about 79 minutes for it to be cleaned up. If I don't show up to that job, I don't get the travel pay and I don't get paid for the job. So I get there early. So yeah, it's 10 to 18 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week. And hey, look who's joining us. Could it possibly be?
Hey. Yo, what's up?
How are you doing, Comics on the Mind?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself? Can't complain? Can you hear me?
Complain.
Oh, of course I can complain. I've been working all day and teaching, and my students drive me bonkers sometimes, but it's been a great day.
Can't live. What do they say about? They used to say this about women: can't live without them, can't kill them. Don't do any of that to the kids.
Yeah, but I've had a pretty good day. Every Wednesday I teach because I'm an after school teacher, and I work with third grade, and on Wednesdays I have a mixed class with all the students, or like first through fifth. And so I teach a class called the Comic Shop, where we basically learn a little bit about comic book history, and then you do an art component to it. And basically they're doing they're building up to like doing a storyboard of creating their own comic book. So today they started working on their own character, like their main character, and then coming up with a bio for them. So it's pretty good. I loved it. It's just some of the students that I have in my class, they're very energetic, and so keeping that energy focused on the art it's sometimes tough, because I'm always redirecting. But can't like I said, can't complain. So but it's not worth it,
Yeah, it's like assholes and elbows. We all got it. We don't want either of them in our face.
Yeah. Yep.
Like anything else, it depends. I guess I don't know.
That old comic smell. How you doing?
I know that there's the 24-hour comic book day where kids, adults, whoever participates, they wind up supplying this. Some comic book stores help out. Perhaps Marvel and DC help out if you're a teacher. And they'll send out these pages so that way in the span of 24 hours, you just draw as fast as you can, and you basically put together, I think, a 20 or 22 page laid out comic book, and people just publish these on their Twitter, on their Facebook, on their Instagram, and it's pretty awesome. Are you going to be participating in that this year?
This is like the first I've heard of that. I would love my students to participate in that. I'm definitely going to have to look into that.
Because the way I'm looking at these kids, the kids are in a way that for them today, everything that they're experiencing now will be nostalgia for them by the time that they're our age now.
Yeah. My LCS sometimes they'll do.
Still doing this.
My LCS, I know last year they had they had an art contest where they had like kids design their own comic book, and then they can present it in the shop, and people can try to purchase it. So it was pretty cool. I hear kitties.
We all have cats. Every comic book YouTuber has a cat. I don't know what it is about that, but so be it.
I don't have my own personal cat, but my roommate has. Well, he had one. He had two, but now The other one's living with his girlfriend now. So we have one.
Yeah, this
I
isn't
want
my
a cat.
cat. It lives across the street, but we feed it, so it's our cat now.
Yeah, if you feed
That's
it, you have a cat.
yep.
Yeah, this is
Around
like
with,
the third one of theirs that's decided to live with us instead of them.
Yeah,
I think
that's what happened to.
Sherry puts it. You have the cat has staff, and that's you.
Yeah, my dad never believed in like neutering or spaying, so our cats would always have babies. So it usually the people in the neighborhood usually end up adopting them. Like the last cats that we had before I left my dad's place, they the lady across the street adopted three of them, and I know someone down the street adopted another one. I was just like, yep. But it's fine. Like as long as they have a home, that's what really matters. They still come back. They used to still come back and like get food or just get pets. So
Yeah, one of them cats my wife and kids was feeding, and they come stomping over here telling us not to feed that cat because it's a vegetarian and has a special diet. Now this cat used to kill squirrels like all the time, and she'd
Oh,
hide the
present.
tails. Yeah, she'd hide the tails in our bushes. I counted 13 tails in 14 days, but supposedly this was a vegetarian cat.
no, it's vegetarian because they're feeding them vegetarian. Because like cats
Yeah.
are very like my cats like at my parents' house like they were mousers like mice and rats because we had a garden like a big garden and so like when you have garden you have chickens that rats are gonna like mice are gonna come anyway. And so they would catch those. They were birders. They would catch birds. Like I've watched like the mom teach her kittens like how like, this is how you like she caught a bird, caught it, and then was teaching them how to like finish it off, finish him, which is crazy.
Well, I'd like to stay on, but I'm about to jump off. I got like 1% on battery power, so it's fixing to die on me.
Well, real quick, we have here Joey Bag of 7 saying that old comic smell. You should enter Biggie's impersonation contest. I don't know what that looks like. Now curious.
Oh,
Probably talking about the beard.
Is that it? The beard?
Yeah, I haven't shaved in about 5 years. I just keep trimming it when it gets too bushy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit 4. This is like 3 and some change.
I have to just clip this like every couple of days. Otherwise,
you're talking about cutting it off. Like it gets itchy, but if I shave my beard, I have a baby face, so it's like I like this. It makes me look a little younger. I mean, a little older because I'll look younger.
Beards definitely ages a man.
Yeah,
I'm 40, but I've had people think I'm 50. It's like, thanks.
Yeah, I'm the old man on this thing because I'm like 45, fixing to be 46.
And I'm 40 going on 41. After you get past, I guess, 25 or 30, a couple of years is not that big of a difference. It's just, oh, God damn it, we're still alive.
You just wake up with strange pains.
That is new. I've been injured enough where I wake up and go,
my knees
oh, it's going to rain. So we're going to wrap this up real quick. I know that Old Comic Smell has to jump out and tend to some family stuff. So we're going to go around real quick. We already jumped to Old Comic Smell, but go ahead. Comics on the Mind. Why don't you go ahead and promote
yourself? Well, y'all know who I am. It's your boy Mind Shift, aka Comics on the Mind, and we always got Comics on the Mind. I don't have anything planned for YouTube right now, but if you guys go on my IG, I'm always posting a couple videos here and there, so you can find me there. I'm always lurking in the chats. So check me out if you get a chance to. So appreciate you. But I'm not gonna be on anybody's shows that I know. I didn't even know I was gonna be on here, but I was gotta jump on. But yeah, I don't have anything planned for the YouTube besides hanging out with you guys in the chats. So, but I'll let you know if I do. But check out my IG, Mind Shift.
Yes, check out his Instagram because he posts daily. And when you see that first video, you'll go, "Oh, well, this is a quick video." It's like, wait, no, move to the left, he has a few of those videos just in one posting there. So he posts regularly. Check him out. He has interesting things to say. He's a teacher. He knows what he's talking about. So do follow Comics on the Mind. Do follow that old comic smell. Lady Fantastic is Caro period syrup _82, I believe, on Instagram. Does not have a Twitter. Meanwhile, we will say this. I'm pretty sure that he should be back next week. Miracleman is out of town. He is on Twitter at Kimota1977. He does not have Instagram. He's out of town this week, but should be back next week. So everybody, smash that like, sub each other up in the chat if you haven't already. This is the comic book community. This is how we know each other. This is how we learn things. Like TMNT number 99 released a cover with $7.99. If you flip it over, $3.99. Error. I didn't know that because, well, I don't pay that much attention to everything every single second. But Instagram does. And not just Instagram in general. I'm just saying, just the people on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, sub people up. This is how you get your books cheaper. This is how you save some money because we help one another out. So also subscribe if you have not already. Hit that bell for notifications. We do this show every single week. Thank you for joining us. We will be returning next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll try and maybe bulk the episode up a little bit. We're going to be doing this a little bit underneath the span of a rom-com. So it's going to be under an hour and a half as opposed to a couple weeks back where it went 3 hours. Well, that was also New Year's, and some of us had some time off. My ass is going to jail tomorrow for work. I'm supposed to go to the Federal Correctional Institute of Florida in Homestead just so I can swear somebody in. It'll be about 10 minutes of actual work. Me going into the jail, trying not to look any scary motherfuckers in the eye as I go, okay, please don't kill me. I hope they don't have any shanks. Oh my God, I'm wearing a suit. I got to get out of here. Got to get out of here. Got to get out of here. Oh, it's done. That wasn't so bad. Why do I get anxiety about this every time? Every single time. So yeah, that's just the way it works. So again, thank you, Comic Mind, for joining us. As always, we're going to thank the people in the chat room that has been here through most of this. Joey Bag of Sevens, Ricky Ricardo, my hiring attorney down here in Miami. I thank you for joining us week in, week out. Air Spider 23, Comic Book 62. It's okay that you join us late. You might have to take a look at the replay, or if you don't, that's okay too. There's a new Michael Morbius trailer out there too. I just call it More BS. That's just me. I could be wrong. Thank you, Mark the Cuddy Sark, for joining us. Aggressively relaxing, as always. That old comic smell. Thank you for joining us midway through the episode. Lady Fantastic, I hope that you feel better. And we will be catching you all next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, everybody. Till next time.